Ladies and gentlemen, honorable judges, and dear participants, in here I want to tell you about my favorite toy, a teddy bear, who accompanied me every time when I was younger. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever imagined a soldier? Perhaps someone strong, someone brave, or someone who carried a gun. But what if I told you, if there was a soldier who likes to drink a beer and wrestling? Or who is not carried a gun but carried hope in his bones? A soldier who is, in fact, a bear. I'm Milka Rahmi. It is my honor to share with you the unforgettable tale of a bear who became a friend, a soldier, and a legend. This is the real story of Wojtek. A story of how tiny lost life became the most giant symbol of courage and friendship. This is the tale of Corporal Wojtek, the soldier bear. Back then, in the spring 1942, in the mountains near Hamadan, Iran, a group of exhausted Polish soldiers found something unexpected. A small, scared Syrian brown bear cub. One of the soldiers later recalled, "We were all so far from home, so lost, and then we saw him, this little ball of food, just as lost as we were. And we knew we couldn't leave him alone." Moved by compassion, the soldiers traded some canned meat, chocolate, and the Swiss Army knife for the tiny bear. They didn't know it then, but they had just enlisted their most loyal comrade. They named him Wojtek, which means joyful warrior in Polish. And he was. They fed him condensed milk from the emptied vodka bottle. He became their baby, their little brother in arms. And Wojtek grew up in the army camp. He learned so much. He learned too much to salute and even to wrestle. He loved to drink beer from the bottle. One soldier even joked, "Hey Wojtek, that's your person from the week." But they shared with him anyways, because they know he was more than just a pet. He was one of them. But the real problem came in 1944. His unit was ordered to sail from Egypt to Italy, but the British rule forbade animals. Their commander said, "Men, the regulations are clear. No animals, no pets." And the silence fell. But the voice spoke up. "Sir, he's not an animal. He's a private Wojtek. He's one of us." And so they found the only way. They officially enlisted him. Private Wojtek was given a serial number, his own paybook, even a rank. He was actually ready to go into war. And in war, he became a hero. Because during the fierce battle of Monte Cassino, soldiers were struggling with the heavy grades of artillery shells. A Polish artilleryman said about the condition that they faced at the moment, "We were exhausted. Then we saw Wojtek stand up with his hind legs, walk to the truck, and look at us as if to say, 'I can help.' He carried heavy crates, some weighing 45 kilograms, but he never dropping a single one. One day, a British officer saw it and waited in disbelief. What? You have a bear carrying your ammunition? For his bravery, Wojtek was promoted to be the corporal. Ladies and gentlemen, when the war was ended, the Polish soldiers could not return home. Like them, Wojtek was in exile. They were relocated to Scotland, but as the men started a new life, they faced one last, the heartbreaking decision for their brother. In 1947, they took him to the Edinburgh Zoo. It was the only way to keep him safe. But his old friends visited him often. They would speak to him in Polish, and he would perk up. And one veteran, a tough man who had seen so much, later told his daughter about his last visit. You know, I stood there, and he came closer to me. I called his name, and he recognized me. I'm the grown man, a soldier. I sobbed like a child, because I had to leave our brother behind. Ladies and gentlemen, Wojtek lived out his days in the zoo, a living legend, until he passed away peacefully in 1963. Today, statues of Wojtek stand in Edinburgh, Krakow, and Italy. They are not just a monument to the bear, they are monuments to the unbreakable bond. And a Wojtek's story teaches us that courage is not just about fighting, it can be about caring. And family is not just who you are born with, but can be who you are stand with. And as you know, ladies and gentlemen, Wojtek, just a displaced bear who found a home with the displaced soldier. And together, they remind us all the strength that found in friendship, loyalty, and the unexpected dose of joy. Thank you very much.